What's going on, everybody? Ryan Pineda here. In today's video, I'm gonna explain to you why credit is the most overrated thing I've ever seen. Now, if this is your first time to my channel, welcome. Obviously, my name's Ryan Pineda, and I own a bunch of different businesses, and most of them are related to real estate investing. Now, as somebody who invests in real estate, you would think I'd value credit really highly. Most people think you gotta have really good credit to buy your first house, to buy rental properties, and to just invest in general. So I'm gonna actually debunk that myth in this video, but on top of that, I'm gonna explain to you what you should really be focusing on. And if you couldn't tell, here's a hint. It's not credit. Now let me start off by saying that I personally have never really had great credit. And it's really dumb because I've never been late on payments. I've paid off millions and millions of dollars in loans. I have very high credit limits. I have hundreds of thousands of dollars in both secured and unsecured credit lines, and I have a lot of liquidity. So you would think that somebody with all of those attributes, with a history of always paying back, a history of high credit lines, a history of responsibility, should be the perfect candidate to be over 800. And here's the truth. I've never once had a score of over 800. And it's funny because I see all of these YouTube videos about how to achieve the perfect credit score, how to get over 800. And I sit there and look at them like, who's watching these videos? Why do you even need a credit score over 800? What do you plan on doing with it? Because here's the deal. An 800 credit score in today's age will not even really help you that much with any type of loan you're getting. Mortgages are around 3% right now, no matter what your credit score is. Even if you had above 800, you're still not gonna get that much better of a deal. And even when it comes to credit cards, having a high score isn't gonna really help you that much. So if you don't know what you're gonna actually use it for, why are you striving for it? And so that brings up two questions. Number one, if you don't even know what you're gonna use it for, and it doesn't help you that much, why are you focusing so much attention on it? And if you can't find the answer to that question, that's good, because I'm gonna tell you the answer to it later on in this video. But the second question you might be wondering is, Ryan, if you're doing all those things, why is your credit score never over 800? Why is it so low? That's a really good question as well. Let me back up a little bit and tell you, back in 2015, when I first started flipping houses, I actually had to max out all my credit cards in order to buy our first flip. I had opened up a bunch of credit cards then, and I had about $50,000 I could access. And so I did balance transfers on all those credit cards, and I ended up getting the $50,000 in cash to use as a down payment on our first flips. Long story short, I ended up making $25,000 on that first flip, and I ended up using that profit, as well as the $50,000 that I originally maxed out for my credit cards, towards my next flips. And I kept those credit cards maxed out for years. And the reason I did that was because I signed up for a bunch of credit cards that had these promos of 0% interest for 18 months. But even after that 18 months, I still kept them maxed out because I knew that I was gonna make more using those credit cards than they were gonna cost me in interest. And that's a big lesson that you guys need to realize with credit. If you're using it the right way, you're gonna pay interest. And as long as you're making more money than the interest cost you, then it's a win. It's the reason people take out leverage in everything, whether it's stocks, whether it's real estate, whether it's credit cards, it's all the same. If you're borrowing money, you pay interest. Yet we have this stigma when it comes to credit cards that we don't want to borrow from credit cards. It's okay to borrow for student loans. It's okay to borrow for mortgages. It's okay to borrow margin for stocks, but it's not okay to borrow from your credit cards. I think credit cards are a great way to get a business started, to invest in yourself. I think they can be used for a lot of things. But nonetheless, back to my story, I ended up maxing out all my cards for a couple of years, and during that time, my credit was in the 500s. And even though my credit was in the 500s, I didn't care because I was making more money than I ever had in my life. Having bad credit didn't stop me from buying fix and flips for real estate because I was finding really good deals, and there were lenders who were willing to fund me even though my credit was bad. And I'll tell you, even to this day, I'm constantly applying for new lines of credit to get mortgages. I'm applying for business lines of credit. I'm applying for car loans sometimes. I'm applying for a lot of different things, and so it always impacts my credit. And the reason that is because I actually use the credit I have. And that's the big aha moment I want you guys to realize, and why credit is so overrated. Your credit score decreases when you want to use more credit. If I start maxing out my credit cards and I start applying for new lines of credit, it dings my credit score. But if I don't do anything with my credit and I don't open up any new lines of credit, then my credit score starts climbing a little bit. And the reason is the credit card companies don't want to see you max out your cards, because for most, it means you're unlikely to pay it back if you're hitting your limit. But even when you logically think about it, the credit cards are incentivized to get you to spend more on their credit because you pay them more interest, they get more fees from merchants and all those things. So it's just this weird system where nothing is really aligned. If I want to apply for more credit and I want to use my credit, I get dinged on my credit score. Even though I'm making the credit card company more money, I'm pumping money into the economy, we're spending, we're doing good things, I get punished. So the credit system as a whole doesn't really make too much sense, but it kind of is what it is. And it all brings me back to that original question I asked you guys early on in the video, and that is, what do you plan to do with the credit? If you do achieve this perfect score of over 800, do you plan to actually utilize the credit for something? If you do, your credit score is probably gonna drop. So you gotta decide, is the vanity credit score worth more to you than the actual result of using the credit? For me, I don't care about the vanity credit score. I care about the result from using the credit. I care about using credit to make money. If people want to give me more credit so that I can go use it and make more money, and I still make my lender's interest, and I still make more money than that interest, it's a win for everybody. So if the price for everyone winning is my credit score dropping, I'm okay with that. And that's what I would rather you guys focus on more than anything. You shouldn't be thinking about how to raise your credit score. You should be thinking about, how can I use credit to make more income? If I can start using credit as a tool, there's no limit to what I can do to make money with it. I can use it to buy equipment for my business. I could use it for investments. I could use it to buy education. I can do a whole bunch of different things once I change my mindset. And at the end of the day, that's how I view it. I just want as much access to capital as possible. And even if I have to pay a little bit more interest on the capital because my credit score is lower, that's okay. I'm not worried about paying 6% versus 7% or even 8%. That doesn't matter to me in the grand scheme of things. Because if I'm taking out credit, I know I'm about to make a lot more than whatever that interest costs me. And so if you're still with me and you're in agreement, I also want to add that yes, you don't need great credit to buy real estate. As I mentioned before, I was buying and flipping tons of houses with my credit score in the 500s. There are many different types of lenders that will fund your real estate deals with bad credit and no job history. In fact, at Future Flipper, one of my companies, we teach people how to get started in real estate right now with no money, no credit, none of that traditional stuff that you think you need. So if you're one of those people that wants to focus on making more money regardless of your credit situation, definitely go to futureflipper.com, hit the application button, and someone from my team will help you out. They'll go over with you all the different ways that you can get started in real estate today. But anyways, I appreciate you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, go hit the like button. Make sure you're subscribed. Go follow me on all the socials. Till next time, peace.